is a land use committee meeting and it's January 7th, 2023. And why don't we all introduce ourselves? My name is Ann Mazar and I'm the chair of the land use committee. And you want to go, Carolyn?
I'm Carolyn Barthel, a member of the Land Use Committee.
Frank?
Frank Nero, member of the Land Use Committee.
Elena?
Elena Brugos, I'm on the select board.
And Barry?
Barry Adirola, planning board representative.
All right. Did you all have a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Any discussion? Did you need to read it?
I'm sorry?
Did you look over the minutes? You good?
No, I honestly hadn't, so that's okay. I trust other people's judgment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Aye.
So the next item is the hike challenge. And on Thursday, people are meeting. There's at least going to be like 4 of us to figure out the trails that we're going to have on the hike challenge. And then once we have those, we can kind of move forward with getting the program started and probably refining it as we go. But and I think you got an email saying when the meeting was, kind of inviting everybody if they wanted to come. Anything on, does anybody have anything they want to discuss on that?
Are they gonna be, once you have the hike designed, are you gonna be bringing that back to us so we can look at it?
Yes, yep. I'll probably send it out to that full group of people that expressed
Mhm.
some interest, see what they say.
The
and
weeks
then-
is,
And then we can talk about it. Yeah. I was suggesting that if we go from every entrance to each trail and do a loop, it'll end up being 10 trails. Like if you have one on Park Street, Asylum Street, going to Meadowbrook Woods, going to the town forest, Millville Road to the town forest, and you go to all the entrances, we end up having 10 hikes. So I think maybe that's the way we'll go. And then people will have a place to park.
mhm. That's a nice round number.
Yeah. And then the storybook trail idea that, I passed around, I think people like the idea, but someone would really have to take that initiative.
Mhm.
Because it kind of would take a bit of an effort because the pages are, somehow, put along the trail. So it
Mhm.
could be something that we mentioned to the library. If they might want to do that. I don't know if that was of interest to anyone on the committee.
I question who's gonna build the places that the books are gonna be held.
Right. I know. Well, that's the thing that, yeah, I mean, it would be an effort that someone would have to want to take it on. So, I mean, I would be open to it, but we would need someone to kind of say that they wanted to lead the program.
You might be better off just having the hike challenge to begin with and see how that works out before you start getting involved with something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I would imagine that there might be grants for this because I've been on several trails where they have this storybook trail. So either, I don't know if it's the libraries or what, but I think it's a thing kind of, with kids' books.
Well, I would think if it is a thing, then I would think the library would have some idea about how to orchestrate it. And,
Yeah.
they might have resources that we aren't aware of.
True. So I would say at this point, like what Barry said is we'll kind of move forward with the hike challenge. If somebody wants to do the storybook thing, would be game for it. But I don't think anybody here has the bandwidth to take it on right now. So. All right. The next thing, which I don't know if you guys followed the emails, but I guess on Facebook, someone was saying on the Quistit trails, they were putting up no trespassing signs and trying to figure out what it was. And it ends up that one of the trails on the town property goes into private property, but it's not very clear. And so
Those lots have been marked for development by the Gannets for years. They were gonna develop, it was either 3 or 4 estate lots with many acres attached to each as a way to recoup some of their money for the property that they bought there. Mike Salvador was going to be developing them, and then Jones bought one from himself, and then he ended up buying the other ones from the Gannets.
Yeah,
And once he bought those from the Gannets, I think they closed on them this past year. He posted them no trespassing to keep hunters from coming in from Quistit on them.
mm-hmm,
So as far as them being marked and posted, it's his property. He posted his property lines. I guess from what I was reading in the emails, he did not stop people from using the trails. He invited
Yeah.
the public to continue using the trails. He just didn't want hunters coming in from everywhere, hunting on the property.
right.
He had done some further work, site work there, this past summer. I'm not sure what he did. Coming in from Vincent, actually it was from Butler. On the state lots that weren't developed, I think he cleaned up a couple of trees that were down and then maybe did some more excavation in there for to delineate the lots somewhat.
Well, what was suggested was that maybe, it's only that, I think it was the east trail that goes into the property, but maybe just putting a sign up so you can see that it's the end of the town property. And then just saying, respect private property, and
Mhm.
stay on the town land. And so, John Gomer,
There's one trail that goes up there and dead ends on his property.
right.
Maybe that should be discontinued.
Yeah, so what,
So that people don't go up there, just put a dead end sign there, like there's one on the Inman Hill side that dead ends down towards Blackstone Street, where it goes into private property.
okay, interesting. So, well, John Gomersal's, will, if we buy the sign, he's willing to put it up at that point on the trail that it starts going in the private property.
Mhm.
That other trail that you're talking of, maybe at some point we'll want to put a sign on it too. What do you think, Barry?
Nobody's on it. There's down trees to keep people from going on it, so.
Okay. So I guess, I don't know if we need to vote, but I'd like to spend, I think it's like $42 to have a sign made and then have John Gomersall put it up. Is the board good with that?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
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 Aye, okay. The other, the next item, actually, the one thing I was thinking about, because after I heard about this, I went to see who owned the property, so I went in the town map, and then I also noticed that Mike Jones owned a lot of those properties. And I was thinking that, I wonder if he was gonna put like a subdivision in or something, if he'd want to do an open space subdivision. Do you have any idea, Barry?
I don't think he's gonna do any more than what was proposed there originally. No more than, it's, in addition to his, it's no more than 2 or 3 houses.
Okay.
Like I said, they're estate lots. They're gonna have probably 10, 12 acres apiece on them.
And those were already approved by the planning board?
They were approved years back. The Gannets came in with, I think Mike brought the plan in for them. Mike
Oh, that's
Salvo.
funny. Okay.
Yeah, that was years and years ago.
Okay. All right. Then, Dan Byer, he, bought some lights for Founder's Park on those 3 middle trees. And so I wanted to ask if, usually like with the Founder's Park has a fund. It's not in the town budget, but it was, people donated money towards it. And the lights, some of the lights had been going out on the 3 main trees, not all the other stuff, just the main trees there.
Street lights?
No, holiday lights that they put up.
Okay, got it.
And so I wanted to spend like it was $85 that he spent, so I would like to reimburse him for that.
So Parks and Recreation wouldn't have that in their budget?
They paid for some of the things up there, but we do have a budget at Founder's Park, and it seemed like it would be, and in the past we bought the lights that run the 3 main trees. So it's something that we've done in the past.
Okay. That's fine. I just don't recall it. It must have been
Many years ago.
And I've been here 16, so.
Wow,
Wow,
I know.
2016.
No, 16 years,
16 years, yeah.
16 years?
Yeah.
since 2008.
Wow.
And you weren't on in the beginning. I've been here, on here for like, a long time.
A lot longer than me.
Yeah. So, you wanna make a motion, Barry, or somebody?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to expend the money for the lights.
Okay.
Second.
Any more discussion?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. All those in favor?
Oops. I,
Frank?
Excuse me?
Um, we're just voting on that motion for the
Oh,
light.
yeah, yay.
Okay,
Aye.
Aye.
okay.
yeah,
And then-
I.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got it, all right. Yes, for everybody, okay. Then, one thing that I don't really have anything specific, but the annual town meeting warrant articles are gonna be due in the next month or so. And so keep in mind if there's anything that you want to put on the annual town meeting. Just throwing that out there.
Mhm.
One thing that I was thinking about is that with the green communities, one thing the town had to do to become a green community is we had to adopt the stretch code. And so we've done that, and they're gonna tighten them up a little bit. But the towns have the option to have a net energy zero code, which would be all new houses would have to be net zero energy. And so I would like to look into that. Some of I was reading about some of the information with green communities. So that would be that the new homes, once it was adopted, then that you'd have like 11 months to transition to it. It would mean that all the houses would have to be electric or passive home wired for electric. The HERS rating would have to be 0, or it could be 42 and have solar. And the extra costs that the builder might have, or, the homeowner to build a house like this, it would be balanced out because there would be so many rebates that they would actually save money by building houses this way. The homeowner would save money for a long time because they would have an energy efficient home, and it would produce less carbon. And so I would like to look into this to put on the town meeting, and I wanted to hear what other people thought about that.
I think it's a
I
good idea.
personally feel it's too early for net zero. I don't think we have the infrastructure to support it.
And like, can you explain more, Barry?
Well, the infrastructure to generate the electricity is gonna need to power these homes that are totally 100% electric. The grid right now isn't gonna handle that type of use. And it's gonna take years to upgrade the grid in order to get that type of use. So to eliminate fossil fuels, I mean, 99% of the houses that I'm doing today are gas. They're either propane or natural gas in order to meet the HERS ratings. Oil is gone by the wayside. Nobody's heating with oil anymore. They can't reach the HERS rating numbers because of the energy stretch code already. Now, if you eliminate gas off of this, you're going to be 100% electric. I mean, the grid in Massachusetts, most of it is run by gas. Electricity is generated by gas. So, and like I said, the infrastructure is not there to generate the type of power we're going to need to run these homes. These, I mean, you're saying any new development that's going to be done in Mendon has to be 100% electric. I just don't see it. I mean, it is being in the construction trades and listening to what's going on to get these houses to net zero is I can see it down the road. Don't get me wrong. It's going to happen,
Mhm.
but I don't see it happening in the next 10, 15 years. Maybe 2050, but
I
not
hope
2030.
Well, 2030 is right around the corner. I agree with you about that. But this is not asking all homes, existing homes right now to be net zero. This is beginning the process you got to start somewhere. And if you start with new homes, at least those homes will be, it will start the ball rolling.
Mhm.
You know, and I don't know how many new homes do we get in town?
It isn't just new, it isn't just new homes. I
Just new
read
homes.
the information that was provided to us on the link. And it's any additions to existing homes.
If they're major renovations.
Well,
If they're major renovations, I don't
That's an
know.
addition.
What I don't know is what qualifies as a major renovation. That I don't know.
That's an addition. That's an addition to a home.
Barry, how many? new homes-
When you pull a building permit and you got the house, that section of the house down to studs, you need to bring it up to stretch code now. So
How
if you go with the net zero energy on the stretch code, now that house that was being heated with forced hot water or natural gas, forced hot air, now has to be done with heat pumps and has to be done with electricity.
Yeah.
So now you're introducing another system into that house. And they may not have the electrical service coming into that home to handle that type of use on the electrical system. So now you're talking another service or upgrading that service over 200 amps. Like I said, there's a lot involved. I mean, it's not something you just do willy-nilly. You have to really research and look into what it's going to take to do it.
Mhm.
How many new homes are there in a year?
Depends on who's doing a subdivision. I mean, this year they probably did 20 houses in this town.
Okay.
This town depends on the subdivisions that are on the books ready to be done. I mean, Applewood had what, 7 or 8?
It had 8.
He had 8. All right, so Applewood had 8. And then there's probably 12 more done by different developers in different areas of town. A lot of individual homes being built in town. A lot of homes being built by people that are not buying lots, but have lots in their family that are putting up houses for their children and stuff. There's three right on my street alone that people have cut off portions of their property and put up houses for their children.
Mhm.
You're adding an awful lot of money to the cost of construction of the house.
They're also offering a lot of rebates so that they're saying that you actually end up saving money in the
There
end.
are rebates.
Mhm.
But, I mean, I don't know how much it covers. It may cover the equipment for the heating and stuff, but it's not going to cover the additional load on the electrical service. Because your service has to be upgraded to handle the amperage.
Yeah. I mean,
Then you got houses that have backup generators. Those generators aren't going to cover the new load.
no, you wind up, instead of having a backup generator, you wind up having a battery system. We have geothermal and we have a battery system as a backup.
Geothermal is smart.
Yeah, it is. And it is smart. And heat pumps are the next best thing. Air source heat pumps. And, my understanding is that I haven't seen any figures, but the amount of cost to starting out with all electricity is not that significantly more. It just adds just a few percentage points. So, I can't quote any.
Yeah,
But-
I don't have the numbers either.
But I do know that it's a whole lot easier to start out that way, and especially with a new home, than going down the propane and oil route and, using any fossil fuels and then having to retrofit, that's really complicated. It would be, for new homes, it would be really lovely to just start people out on the right foot. Because this is what we're going to have to do anyway. There's going to be legislature proposed at the State House that is going to be pushing for this kind of stuff. This kind of, we have to retrofit. I think we have like 2 or 3 million home buildings in the state, and we have to retrofit all of them. So, it's going to take a long time, and the sooner we get started on it, the easier it would be.
Well, I think they better start looking at building up the grid to handle that load.
I absolutely agree. We were pushing very hard to have ISO New England go down that route, and they said, no, we aren't going to do that for another 2 years. So we have until the end of 2024 to still, they're not pushing for renewables as a significant source of electricity. And that also would have to do with the utilities. So, this is a big change, and and people don't like change, and it's going to be hard, but it's something that I don't know that we really have a choice to do. It's easier to do it it's easier to do it sooner than it is to do it later, and a lot less expensive.
I'd like to kind of have this be an ongoing conversation. I want to look
Yeah.
into it some more. So why don't we kind of continue the discussion for another meeting, unless anyone else has something to say? Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm happy to continue the conversation. I'd be, anything concrete that we can provide to help us make a decision
Yeah.
is,
Let's
this
investigate it
really
some
useful.
All right, so we'll come back and talk about this with some more information. I just noticed some new people came on the meeting, and I'm just wondering, did you come on, Laura, Peg, and someone else? Did you come on about the hike challenge, or was there something that you all wanted to talk about?
I came on for the hike challenge.
Okay. How about you, Peg? Don't know. The other person?
There's a 508-44 something.
Is that Peter Coffin?
Oh, is that Peter? No. Well, Laura, anyways, oh, hello?
I was wondering about the hike challenge.
Oh, okay. Can I ask who's talking?
It's Janice Muldoon-Moore.
Oh, hi, Janice. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we didn't really talk too much about it, but there's going to be a meeting here at the town hall second floor on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock to figure out the trail routes. And so if you want to attend that, you're welcome. If you can't attend, but you have comments or ideas, you can, call or send an email. And so that's
Okay,
sort
great.
of like, that's sort of where we left it. And then, so we figured once we had the routes, then we would pass it around and see if everyone thought they were good and then move up forward from there.
Okay, thank you.
And is that this week?
It is, it's like in 2 days, yes.
Okay, Thursday, 11 a.m. at the town hall.
Yeah,
Okay.
second floor.
Second
Yep,
floor. Okay, thank you.
great. Okay, anything else on the hike challenge that anyone want to talk about? Okay.
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. So then the last one is the green aggregation, which I didn't really have information on, but I think we could look into that. No.
I'm hoping that now that there is a new governor, that who knows that green aggregation has been an issue. There are a couple of dozen anyway, towns who have applied, including us. We're one of the oldest who applied for green aggregation over 3 years ago, 3 years ago in August.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping that Governor Healy will, she has appointed a new EEA secretary. And I don't know, I'm not sure exactly where the DPU comes into this, but I can't remember right now whether the DPU is included in the EEA or not. DEP and some other alphabet soup.
Probably is though, because
Probably.
they have it's the environment and energy
Right.
And our
Energy and,
application-
environmental affairs, yeah,
has been sitting in the DPU, the Department of Public Utilities.
since August of 3 years ago.
Right, and so hopefully we'll be able to move it forward and then figure out what kind of electrical plan we could have for Mendon. And what our goal is to have it be cheaper than national grid, but also be greener. So that was our goal.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see whether, my understanding is that you can always ask the broker to, you can go out to bid or whatever you want. I'm sure a little fuzzy about the process because we never got that far. Because it was never approved. But my understanding is that, you can go out to bid, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to accept any of those bids and you can just sit on it. I'm wondering what the electric rates will be right now.
Yeah.
They're going to be probably pretty high. So, but, and we'll see what happens with, offshore wind right now is having difficulties with the inflation and stuff like that. And so the state is trying to figure out what to do about the 2 offshore wind projects. So, there's a lot in flux right now, but let's just keep pushing forward and checking it out and see what we can learn next.
So basically, we don't really have any information yet, but it'll be something we'll bring back to another meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the last agenda item, unless anybody has anything else.
Nope. When's the next meeting?
It'll be the first Tuesday in February, which, do we know what that is?
It's gonna be the 7th.
Yeah, so then February 7th it would be.
Okay.
All right.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
End recording.